we not have everyone today?
Okay. All right. All right. Thanks, everybody. Let's call the San Lorenzo Valley Water District Board meeting to session here. It's 5:30. Leah, could you take roll, please?
President Russ?
Here.
Vice President Lane?
Here.
Director Smalley?
Here.
And Director Colbert?
Here.
Thank you.
Okay. Any changes to our agenda
No, sir.
for closed session, I guess? And no one in the public?
Nobody's online.
Okay. And let's adjourn to the closed session. Okay, we're back from a closed session, and we do have one reportable item, and I'm going to pass it on to Gage. Good evening, Gage.
Good evening.
Okay.
Regarding agenda item 4C, the board voted unanimously to approve a settlement agreement with Brian Fruce to resolve the cross complaint in the identified litigation. This settlement does not result in any expenditure by the district, and the settlement agreement will be made available for public inspection once it is fully executed.
Thank you very much.
You are very welcome.
Okay, and there were no other reportable items out of closed session. Any changes to the agenda?
No, sir.
Okay. Anyone online?
We have 3 people online. Nobody has their hand up.
No hands up. Okay, very good.
Oh, Jim Mosier just put his hand up.
Okay. Jim, you're on. You want to?
Point of order, are you asking Jim for changes to the agenda or?
Well, yes, this should be,
Or
well, no, just oral communication. Oral
My
communication.
mistake. I don't want to speak to the agenda. Sorry.
No, and we were on oral communications as long as it's on something not on the agenda, Jim.
Oh, then I just am curious, just the report on the cross complaint with Brian Fruce. Can the board give any more information about that lawsuit, the writ of mandate? I assume that means that the district won the case against Bruce Holloway. I wondered if there's any more information about that.
let Gage.
Yeah, Gage, would you like to respond to Jim's question?
Yeah, the case at the trial court level resolved. The district was successful on the writ of mandate. The report out of closed session was addressing the cross complaint that was filed by Mr. Fruce. And as far as I know, that was all that was discussed at closed session today.
You're correct.
Right. Yeah, so no discussion occurred on the Holloway case itself, Jim.
Okay.
All right. If there's no other hands up, No? Okay, let's move on to no unfinished business on the new business. So we'll talk about the general counsel legal services. Jason, would you like to pick this one up?
Yeah, thank you, President. This item is to follow up to a direction that the board provided at the April 2nd board meeting, where the board directed staff to reissue the RFP for general counsel legal services. To broaden our comparison of available firms, staff did so, and we received proposals from two firms. White Brenner, who's our current general counsel, and the original responder, Alisher Winder, a statewide public agency law firm with significant water district experience. Staff has reviewed both proposals and prepared a side-by-side comparison covering qualifications, team structure, relevant expertise, institutional knowledge, and billing rates, which is included in your packet tonight. Both firms are qualified. White Brenner brings institutional knowledge of the district, specific operations and legal history. Alisher N. Winder offers a larger specialized water law bench. Ultimately, this is a board decision that involves both quantitative and qualitative judgment, and staff is presenting the information and seeking board direction on how to proceed.
All right, thank you for that summary. I'll just start by saying I really appreciate the side-by-side. That's really helpful in just kind of seeing, both sets of companies and what they bring to bear. I will, just for everybody's sake, say that, and I'm just going to say A&W because it's so much easier to say for me. They're based out of Oakland, and White Brenner is based out of Sacramento. And I know for keeping budgets down, the White Brenner folks attend, for instance, board meetings remotely. I was curious. I know that the A&W folks had indicated a preference for attending board meetings in person, but coming from Oakland, that's obviously going to add a lot of time. I'm assuming they're okay with remote as well.
I've seen them do it.
Okay. And I did want to say, in reviewing some of our legal bills, that the White Brenner folks, except regarding litigation, do seem to charge the blended rate of $262 an hour. And I wasn't sure, maybe Jason, you might know, since Mr. Hall would be our primary counsel, would he be charging us at the partner rate? Do you know, the $395
I
rate?
had the same question.
Yeah,
We'll be charging at the partner rate.
at the partner rate. Okay, so in that respect, that's actually a potentially a fair increase. The litigation rates are pretty similar for folks at White Brenner when they were helping us with different litigation pieces that we've been having this last year. And in my own mind, I was thinking, what kinds of expertise would the district maybe need help going forward? And the things that I thought about were eminent domain, water rights, CEQA issues and EIRs possibly, litigation, exposure, Prop 218. Those are the ones that jumped out at me, but I'm sure there's others too. And so I just wanted to raise those as well. And I do appreciate in this case, in contrast to like comparing two contractors giving us bids, where price is like in your refined matrix is 65% of the value. Here, the qualitative part is also very important. And so I am a little worried that the A&W folks might end up actually costing us a fair bit more, depending upon how much time they actually have to spend on stuff. And I will say that it has been my impression this last year, and Gage, this isn't meant to be personal. It's just a general comment that I think the board has been occasionally frustrated with the responsiveness of White Brenner. And so that's the other side of why this has maybe come about as something that we just want to take a look at and discuss. And so that would be something, but I think from an expertise point of view, personally, I think you and Christina and Barbara have been very thorough. So we appreciate that. Okay. So those are some of my comments. Let me maybe open it up to other directors. Bob, would you like to?
Yeah, I want to say, I think, because the numbers are still important to me, still more than the qualitative, because these are both very qualified firms. And not a root beer order either, right?
That's right.
So, it looks to me like unless we're doing something specialized, there's really no, or everything is being done by a paralegal or document clerk, there's really no circumstance under which A&W is less expensive. Is that
I would
a
agree
better
with
statement?
that.
Yeah. I do want to, I think, offer a little bit of historical perspective on the green section about deep institutional knowledge. So we had a company called Nossaman for many, many years. I think from 2016 through
Yes.
2023.
23.
Yeah,
And White Brenner has been on board since
That-
about May 23.
right.
So 3 years now.
So, the Nossaman basically went away because they weren't being responsive at all. The person that was assigned to us got promoted, and we were not where the money was going to be made, in my opinion. And so we had to go to White Brenner very quickly. As it turns out, White Brenner was number 2 on the selection in 2016. I was on that committee. So it was a fairly easy thing to do. I really challenge this thing about deep institutional knowledge and that, making that transition. Maybe some things, but it's not the deciding thing.
I have to agree with you on that, Bob, because if we were to go with A&W at this point, they're at the same point, in my opinion, that White Brenner was
Exactly.
3 years ago.
Exactly.
So this is 3 years of institutional knowledge that White Brenner has gained from being with the district for that long.
Right.
Prior to that point, they were on the same
Exactly.
learning curve
Exactly right.
that another firm,
So
whether it's Alsher and Winder or another firm,
Right.
would be on. So
right. And Nossaman, by the way, was on the same learning curve. They took over from a firm over in Los Altos.
Yeah.
That really did not a great job. So the transitions happen, and they happen for a variety of reasons. So, but for me, because the numbers are the way they are, I mean, I appreciate Mr. Hall wanting to be the primary, but at $3.95 an hour, I don't think that makes sense for us. So,
Mark, any other thoughts?
Jason, did you allude to you've had experience with A&W based on your
I've had experience with Mr. Hall,
okay,
which is why you responded.
which is why he responded.
okay,
Okay.
with this firm or with
He was actually with the county of Kern at that time.
I see, okay, but you said yes, you know that they would work on a
Yeah,
remote access basis because they've done it before.
because yes,
Okay,
because Mr. Hall has.
I see. Okay.
Tell him to cut his rate. Come back.
That is a concern also, and that's something that I see here, and I have a suggestion on that. But let's talk about the specific on this. I like the fact that they appear to have some Santa Cruz connection, but how significant is that? I don't know. He went to UC Santa Cruz and is apparently familiar with the area. How much does a more experienced or a firm versed in various things save us either in taking us down the right direction on some aspect, or and it's been my experience that we've had some member of the public asking questions on what we thought was a legal basis to have an opinion from White Brenner, and then in a subsequent meeting realize oh, what we heard from our attorney was not correct. Am I missing something here, Bob?
No,
Because
that
I think
happens.
you've been in that.
Yeah, that happened.
Okay, all right.
Not
So-
recently. I don't
Not
think,
recently,
but,
that's
yeah.
right. And I ask you, since I don't know if the rest of it,
They weren't.
we're here at that point. So that left a taste in, for me, of, oh, are we getting the right representation? But I haven't experienced that recently.
I
So
would
this
say-
was two
I
or
would
3 years
say-
ago, or?
Yeah, I would say response.
Probably 2 years ago.
Yeah, responsiveness has improved, and I haven't seen any of those kind of hiccups.
Right. Yes.
So,
So, I'm torn with this, but, we should be doing something like this on a periodic basis anyhow, to say, do we continue with this? Rather than with Nossaman, we were on contract with them for 5
Sounds
5
like
years?
Sounds like 8 years.
8 years,
That's a
8
long
years,
time.
8 years, until their primary attorney with us was not delivering.
Yeah.
It was promise and not deliver repeatedly, until, as the board president, I finally said, no, we got to make a change. And it happened fairly expeditiously at that point, but we're not at there.
by the way,
now.
just to feed on that, this is a board hike. They work for the board.
Yes.
This should go on a board calendar on the online software we're working on to revisit every 3 years or so,
Right,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So,
Agreed.
yeah.
Okay.
And the board president at the time is responsible for making sure that happens.
Okay. Those are some of my thoughts on this. So,
And it sounded like you had a recommendation.
well,
or a-
I do have a thought.
Okay,
The Director Foltz is somewhat, I don't know, hung up on the cost or focused on the cost, and I think we should be. That's a big part of our role, is the financial oversight. You do have a suggestion, one of 2 suggestions in your motion, Jason, and one is to issue a contract to A&W. The other one is to have further discussions with, or something to that effect, have further discussions.
interviews.
I think it would be appropriate, or one option would be to have further discussion. Since cost is an issue, how can they better address that? Rather than having their principal work with us? What qualified staff do they have that,
$300 an hour.
that could be more in line,
Yeah, that's,
that we
10%
might
over.
want to consider further? Yeah.
If the board does that, I'd suggest that Bob be in that meeting as the president.
Yeah, I would agree with that. Yeah, but
Yeah,
that's
good.
a thought.
All right, thank you. Lynn?
Yeah, I know we have the rates in front of us, but like I can't really grasp how that's going to translate into total costs for the districts. And I like, as you know, it's already kind of been stated. I'm worried that A&W those costs can really balloon. And, you know, and I think you guys already touched on the in-person and how much, you know, was that going to add? It sounds like they will be able to possibly do remote. I do really appreciate the expanded area of expertise that comes with A&W, though it does seem like it comes at a higher cost. But as far as like Whiteburner saying that there's this strong institutional knowledge, I feel like we've kind of been handed from one lawyer to next. It was Barbara, and then it was Christina, and then now we have Gage, and then there was that random person that just popped up in a meeting and no one knew. So, I mean, to say that like that all that knowledge is getting passed, it would really be nice to have one person of point of contact. So, you know, information isn't getting lost. I appreciate the Gage has been more of the steady person in the room instead of constantly switching back and forth between people. I think that was causing some issues prior. Yeah, and I have like what Mark was saying earlier. I did have had questions about whether or not we are getting the correct legal advice, which makes me nervous. So and it's kind of really my only comments on that. I think it's I like Mark's suggestion of the interview.
Having some interviews.
Yeah. Well, that's all.
Okay, thank you. Brian?
Yeah, I guess I will say that I am grateful for the opportunity to revisit the attorneys for the district. I think that this is definitely something that should be done periodically, and a 3-year interval seems like a reasonable period of time. There have been times where I have felt like we were not getting clear counsel from White Brenner, and that's very troubling, because at the end of the day, I find personally myself completely dependent on the legal advice provided by counsel, having no knowledge in the subject matter. That said, we've had excellent navigation of complex legal issues too by White Brenner. So I do want to acknowledge that. Christina's in particular done a lot of very strong work, and has helped me understand complex legal situations and had successful outcomes in negotiations. However, that inconsistency causes me trouble. The A&W Aylshire, Alisher and Winder. So that Jason, you've had experience working with them, gives me
Just him, just Phil Hall.
just Phil Hall.
Not
Not
the
the
whole,
firm.
not the whole group.
I see. So he worked as county counsel, it sounded like,
Yes,
within the county government,
Yeah.
and has since joined the firm.
correct.
Gotcha. Thank you.
He's joined as of council.
I talked to him last night. He's now a partner.
Oh, okay, because of council is a very different relationship than partner.
Thank you.
So,
Right.
Okay.
Okay, so he is now partner, which changes his status and his rates.
immeasurable.
And your experience with him as an attorney was a positive one.
He was on the opposite side of the table, but
But you could still be impressed by somebody working against you. Yeah.
but yes, I was impressed with his doggedness and his knowledge.
Uh-huh. Gotcha. Okay, thank you. So I would concur that I think that this is a good process and should continue. And I think with respect to rates, having a less expensive attorney is certainly a preference. The billable rate of all these individuals is enviable by the at least those of when I bill my time hourly, I wish I could charge that much. But one avoided major litigation is going to save $100 on an hourly basis, many hours over. And so I don't think it is a place to be overly cost conscious in the sense of trying to save a little and losing a lot as a result. So anyway, I would advocate for continuing the process.
Okay, very good. I didn't mean to ask Sherry to not put you on the hot seat, but can you give us an approximate annual amount that we do spend on legal?
Yes,
Okay.
bear with me one moment.
Could have sent you an
Better
email.
log in.
What's that?
Better log in,
I know.
run the report.
And I will say that I'm impressed by the breadth and depth of the services provided by Alshire and Winder. I think that could be very helpful as we go through all of the different odd duck legal issues that we are likely to navigate.
Likely to have. And I will just add that there is something to be said for having someone that you always know is there. And so that's the role that Phil Hall wants to play.
Right.
He's there, he's the,
He's the dude.
he's the guy, yeah. And that's kind of nice to know that that's always consistent. And so there's something to be said for that, and the fact that you had a strong working relationship with them, that speaks well of him as well. Sounds like you would much rather have him on the same side of the table as opposed to the
Oh, yeah,
opposing side.
definitely.
Okay.
Okay.
So Any other thoughts from directors about the process? I think I am much in agreement to maybe have some interviews with A&W, and maybe Lena and I can join Jason and schedule some interviews. But
Let me ask a question,
please,
because I think it'll be germane to the interview.
okay.
I think they have clearly great skills, but if they ain't budging on the numbers, there is no way that, unless we have completely, blown the budget with White Brenner in terms of their guys not being able to operate at a high level of competence, there's no way that A&W is going to be able to come in less.
And in my opinion, I wasn't going to phrase, if I did a motion, phrase it as interview. It's particularly focusing in on costs and what they might be able to do.
Yeah, because I think an interview
With
is going to be, we know, I think you articulated the big issues that are coming up.
Right.
I think either one of them could do it.
Yes.
The question
From an
is-
issues perspective.
Yeah, the question really, and I think you need to focus on, how are you going to, if you're not going to come down in the number, how can you make it so that we're getting more value
For bang
for
for
the
the buck.
time?
Right.
Yes.
Because they're basically, well, in my quick calculations, and Sherry can back this or verify it or not, is that we pay the higher rate to White Brenner about a third of the time. 2/3 of the time we're at the 262. So that really says 2/3 of the time, A&W will be 50% more expensive than,
Hang on a
than
bit.
White Brenner,
Hang on.
and about equal on the other. And so, so that's why I was kind of curious, are we spending 100,000 a year on legal? That'd be my guess, but
So for fiscal year 26, we spent 125,000. Fiscal year 25, we spent 312,000,
oh my goodness.
and 24, 174.
Wow.
We were going through a number of personnel issues, that year that we had that.
Correct.
Okay.
So I think
And
that's the
litigation.
aberration. I think this 120,
120's more realistic.
maybe 140 is, in the ballpark on an annual basis.
So if we take your numbers, your back of the envelope numbers, which by the way are great for sizing things up,
Right.
comes out to 331 an hour.
Yeah.
And so again, unless a lot of this work is going to go to the associate and he's going to provide just, light supervision, you cannot get there.
Right.
On a
Yeah.
weighted average.
So,
Yeah, and that would say that they're on that basis, 330, about 25-30% more expensive on average. So it's a big number, and on 120,000 a year budget, that's 30,000 a year.
yeah.
Their
So-
litigation specializations are less.
What's that?
Their litigation in specialized rates are less.
Or less? Uh-huh.
Not by much, but.
Right.
And then again, you do have to factor some level of learning curve. I mean, it's not going to be zero. I don't think it'll be huge.
Yeah.
But I don't think it'll be zero. Candidly, I don't think it'll be as much as we have with Nossaman, because she was a very junior person that got assigned to us. And she didn't have the experience that obviously Mr. Hall has.
Right.
But it's not going to be zero.
Okay, good. Yeah, these are good comments. Are there any other director comments? I guess we can also, if there's anybody with their hands up.
Nobody with their hands up.
Okay.
Okay.
No motion is necessary, I don't think, at this point.
Well, I think so.
I think it
I think
is.
there is.
I think there is. Well,
Yeah.
yes,
Why?
we're asking staff to do something. I think.
We can direct staff to do something without a motion. That's easy to do. We've done that in the past, many times. Please continue the conversation, bring back a final motion or something. I mean, there's no reason to do a motion.
There's a possibility.
Yeah, move to direct staff. You can do
Well,
We
you don't,
could,
you,
we could, but we don't have
you
to.
don't
I agree
have
with
to make a motion to direct staff, is my point.
to continue the discussion.
These are things that as you go forward in your role, you should
Um,
know your options.
and I think having at least you involved in the discussion with Jason, since you've heard all of this.
Right.
Would be important. And in particular, it's the finances of it that we're most focused on.
Yeah.
I think across the board here.
Right. Right.
So
Okay, well, if
bring it back to a subsequent board meeting after you've had those discussions with A&W focused on that. I don't think we need to make it any more formal than that.
yeah, if we don't need
Okay.
to, I'm perfectly fine with that. Yeah. All right. So we'll move forward with that one then when we can get that scheduled. Okay, very good. Right, no comments from the public, so we'll move on to the next item. This is the revised well monitoring agreement with our local groundwater agency.
I do have a point of order though, before we go.
Please.
So this was sent to us, the revised. Was it updated in an amendment, posted or
Yes.
posted on the, in there?
It's posted online and
Cause I'm
there's paper copies in the back of the room.
trying to see that now. Okay, but if it was
Yeah, no,
posted,
that's-
then
that's
we're
important.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Otherwise, I would say we can't take action.
Okay. Good. So it sounds
those
like
are-
we're in order then.
Yes, the red lines are here. Good,
Yeah.
thank you.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Okay. We got the double checker here, so.
Well, it's Brown Act stuff,
Yeah.
right? So,
Very good. Let's be right on. All right, Jason, did you want to talk about
Yeah,
this
at
one?
our March 5th meeting, the board authorized staff to commit the district's Olympia 1 well and the Estrella well for use as long-term groundwater monitoring wells in support of the groundwater agency's SIGMA compliance obligations. Subject to 3 conditions: the district retaining ownership, the district retaining full discretion over future use or decommissioning of the wells, and Santa Margarita funding 100% of the conversion costs. Staff has since worked with Santa Margarita and District Council to develop the attached agreement, which memorializes those terms. Staff is recommending that the board approve the agreement and authorize the general manager to execute it so conversion work can proceed once the specific scope of work and cost estimate are finalized with Santa Margarita.
Okay.
With that, I'll take any questions.
Thank you. You're right. So there's 2, you had sent us, I guess, were both the agreements revised or just the one? I don't,
The original agreement that was in the board packet was drafted by me, and Gage had looked at it and made some revisions. I sent that over to Santa Margarita, who, when their legal counsel looked at it and sent it back, I modified it again, and that's what you're looking at. And Gage has looked at, their counsel and Gage have looked at this most recent version,
okay.
and everyone's good with it.
Everyone's good with the notice change. Okay. Very good. All right, let's start. Brian, would you like to have any thoughts there?
I think this is fundamentally a very valuable action. I think that the Santa Margarita Groundwater Basin Management requires and benefits substantially from monitoring wells. Monitoring wells are very expensive to do new, and so this is kind of an elegant solution for infrastructure that otherwise is not being useful. I don't see anything particularly complicated about it. I'm glad that we get to retain full site control and ownership and kind of all of those details. I know when at the organization I worked, we were approached about a monitoring well for Sigma monitoring, and they had a whole easement and access, and we're going to take rights to drive on our property anytime they wanted to, and we ended up going back and forth for 3 months to prevent that, and it was frustrating. So it's nice that there's a elegant solution here, and I'm supportive of it.
Very good. Thank you. Lena?
You said it so well. Yeah, I mean, I read the contract and read it again with the edits, and everything looked fine to me. And I'm really excited to have more monitoring wells to help us better understand the long-term health of our groundwater. So I'm really happy that we can be partners in this with Santa Margarita Groundwater Agency.
Very good. Okay. Mark?
I see under the data collection and sharing, that the district is now, collecting monthly manual groundwater levels. Is that something that?
So when I originally drafted it, I put that they were collecting it.
Right.
Rob wrote back and said the district staff has always done it. And so if
Right.
we could leave it that way, that'd be helpful. So I would, with Jesse.
Yeah. But as part of our monthly requirements, we do just instantaneously grab on all the wells. So-
But do we need the data? Do we want the data? If the Santa Margarita Agency, is benefiting from this, and we're not getting anything as far as a, reduction in the fees that we're paying to the agency, shouldn't they be doing this work? Yes, we have been doing it, but it's.
So the wells we're monitoring are separate than the wells they monitor.
I understand that, but specifically for these two wells that you're citing in this agreement,
You're okay.
these two wells only,
Right.
if they're not compensating anything for our staff time, even if it's an hour. per
What's your
time,
guess? How much
per
is
time
it per
we do
month?
it.
Just ballpark.
How about 4 to 6 hours a month?
That would be required for the two wells?
Oh, no, for all.
For the two
for all-
wells.
Just
all
the two
wells.
wells.
The 2 wells,
The two
For
wells.
these two wells.
an hour.
Okay, right, and that's where I'm going. It doesn't take much to get to the well, sound it if you're doing it manually.
Sigma does request this information, so we do supply, send this information
I
over.
understand, for these two wells only
Mhm.
that we're now dedicating to the monitoring network. We're doing the work to provide the data. Yes, it benefits us to this degree, but we're providing this much of service since we're responsible for 40% of the cost of, or thereabouts, of Santa Margarita. Shouldn't we be getting $100 or is it so minimal?
I mean,
Of-
we could stop monitoring those wells. It wouldn't.
No. I'm not saying that. No.
They have equipment on.
Mark, do you want a 1/4 credit on our annual contributions to
Uh,
Sigma?
1% credit, yes.
That would be,
Actually, the
I'm
rates
asking-
are coming up for discussion,
I'm
so.
asking if
4
that's
hours. That'd be
appropriate.
$400.
I'm asking if that's appropriate for us to, yeah. I'm not saying definitely, but
All right, so there is some incremental cost on our part.
between that and the fact that they're putting, from my reading this, they're putting automatic data loggers into the well, right? Is what I'm reading.
Yes.
Those get damaged, we are responsible for damaging them.
If we damage them.
Yeah, right, if we damage them,
Yeah.
but we're the only ones out there taking manual
Right.
readings.
And
So it's kind of putting us in a lose-lose situation from my
we're
perspective.
not, I don't, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't believe we're putting anything down the hole that would damage this.
No.
Yes,
We have ultrasonic, there's a few wells where we do have to use the tape.
Right,
not these two.
But
so we're not, but because you said manual readings and then
yeah, it's either ultrasonic or a tape with a.
Right.
So, there's occasionally the tape might get stuck, but that's.
When these two are done, we're not sticking a tape down the well anymore.
And the wells that have the monitoring equipment on them, we don't necessarily have to monitor those because they're already being monitored in real time.
So given everything I've said, Jason, you think it's still in our interest to?
I think it's in the interest to understand the groundwater situation.
I agree,
And
I
if-
agree.
And if these two wells provide a better and clearer picture of that.
Right.
Then,
Right.
I will just
I
add,
don't know if the hour a month is.
Yes.
worth it.
Right. I would like to just add from now having attended, a couple of board meetings of the groundwater agency and the ad hoc committee, which has met every month. I am much more appreciative of the importance of having monitoring wells within the groundwater agency, and they have now changed their whole approach. And they're proposing that we have more wells, but we're averaging minimum thresholds over 2 years instead of 1 year. And we have to be out of compliance for at least 2 or 3. I think it's 2 or 3 wells. And so
Right.
having a couple more wells throughout the basin, I think, is actually fairly important to the groundwater agency. And if it really, in my opinion, if it's really an hour of contributed cost, I'm okay with that. It's kind of a de minimis number. And we are going to be renegotiating our contribution here coming up, because it's that time frame. I think, before the end of the year.
Well,
So,
if that's the case, and we do approve this as is, I expect that to be used as a bargaining chip in reduce ours by a few percent.
Well, and the other big bargaining chip that we have is, as we increase surface water use, our well use goes down and.
But does that affect costs? I don't think
Well,
so.
no, but it affects our supposed contribution to the agency.
Well, I'll add to it, could benefit our conjunctive use in the future, because we can show that the aquifers have been going up with the use.
Okay. All right. Well, enough on the question that I asked. Thank you for the thoughts on it.
No, I mean, that's $1,000 a year. That's real money as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah.
Bob?
Well, some of these questions are the reason why I think about 6 months ago, I asked for a review of the Santa Margarita Groundwater Agency, and neither of you have delivered that. I made that request twice in writing and at least once verbally, twice now. I think a lot of these questions and our strategy and what we're going to do relative to what you were talking about would have been well served if we'd had that conversation before this came up. I don't know what to do.
It's a fair point.
I don't know what to do. I'm being ignored in that. And it's not right. I had a couple questions about this because I did have some similar concerns. Are these wells actively in use?
No.
No.
So, I mean, my approach on wells that we aren't using is to destroy them. Unless we think something's going to happen in the future that we need to use these for. That is, can they be easily put back into production? We sure shouldn't be using the Estrella well. I mean, that isn't a place where I would never want to go again.
We couldn't use that one.
Right. So I'm sitting there saying, why are we on the hook for maintaining it and repairing it? The underlying infrastructure, that makes absolutely no sense to me if we're not using these wells. And at least one of them, we have no intention of restarting again. I know, absolutely not. That is a shared expense on the part of Santa Margarita if they're using it for monitoring for this overlay organization that produces no water.
Remind me, Jason, or maybe someone who's read the document more thoroughly, what is the termination timeframe if either party decides that we went out?
I get that.
Right. Well, I mean, but that would be relevant. I mean,
Well, but what happens? So once you get into these things, there's no getting out of them. The political pressure is not going to get out. You're not going to be able to get out of these very easily. I guarantee you.
I think we would.
I have never seen it happen in the past in the 12 years I've been involved in this in detail. Once something goes, you don't get out. So,
In an analogous case to having wells monitored, we've gotten into contracts on those.
I am saying politically, you're not going to be able to do this. By the way, if we're renegotiating things, we ought to talk to Santa Cruz about all the rest of it, because that's the holdup on surface water in the long term. No, there's no way we should be paying for. We should be paying our share.
Number
If,
three,
if I
right?
could, I'll just
Yeah.
point out that the district may terminate this agreement, 180 days notice. The district can terminate this agreement with respect to a specific well. If the district determines that decommissioning or destruction of the well is necessary.
Excuse me, I'm still.
I'm just.
you can
correcting
come
the
back when
record
I'm
for
done,
Bob. It
But I
seemed
will
like you were
respond to that
I
and
was,
say,
yes, 180 days.
I will respond to that and say, they could say, hey, the well is something, we need to fix it.
We're not
You
going
need to fix it. We could try to terminate and delay for 6 months?
Mhm.
Guys, that is not the way to do business. That is sneaky ways to do business.
I think they would understand that if the well needs $50,000 in repairs, that's not.
Then why do we put
That's
a
not
clause
reasonable.
in here that says we will do it? I don't want to do sneaky ways of doing business. I want to be straightforward about it. As long as these wells are functional,
Yeah.
you can use them, and we'll even dedicate our staff to monitoring. I was going to ask about automatic monitoring in a minute, but if the wells basically are no longer usable or would require repair or maintenance on them in order to keep using them, that's it. Then we renegotiate. Why do we put in here a commitment that we're on the hook for it, regardless of whether we want to sneak around and do some loophole thing?
Well, I guess maybe the question is I'm not familiar with the condition of these wells. I mean, are they in actually reasonably good condition? We just don't like the water, or
Only one, my understanding that it was decommissioned after the '89 earthquake, so you need a new well. I don't think you would try to repair that one.
okay.
And Estrella's in a location where you wouldn't want.
You just don't want to do it. There's no way we should go on the hook for that in any way, shape, or form in the contract. None. Now, you guys obviously can do what you want, but I can't vote for this in its current form because of that. It is a bad deal for us, and I don't want to get in a position where we have to try to find some loophole to get out of repairing something that we signed up to do. I did have a question about the monitoring. Do we need to do this when someone goes out? Is there not automatic equipment that we can?
An auto logger basically stores the data at site, and then you go plug in and you download it.
So there's no like over the air downloads on this stuff, telemetry.
Not at the moment.
You have to go on. That's twice a year we do that for the monitoring wells with the equipment. The ones with the monitoring equipment, we don't grab our monthly reads on. Those are the ones without the equipment.
Well, but why don't they go ahead and invest in doing telemetry?
On all of them,
Well, yeah,
For these two.
well, at least
wells.
for these two.
For these two wells again.
they have it. They have the monitoring equipment on there. You still have to be.
No,
you have
no,
to go
no.
inside, plug in.
Telemetry means over the air.
Yeah. Okay.
Why can we not do over the air?
They're the ones that just chose the equipment to install it.
Well, but this is part of the negotiation,
They
guys.
have. It's probably a lot more
That-
expensive.
that require- I mean, telemetry requires power, it
Yeah.
requires the equipment
it's
to do the
not cheap.
telemetry.
Right.
It's not cheap.
But
you know that.
Yeah, but I mean, then you don't have to send staff out to do that. And I mean,
Well, it's
maybe
$1,000 cost per year versus, I don't know.
we
how
don't
much.
know that. I don't think it's $1,000 cost per year.
Well, I'm just going with an hour.
That is not a fully burdened rate, I guarantee you.
So there's some confusion here. We only go to these sites twice a year, so I think, it might be even less than $1,000.
Oh, wait a minute. I thought we were doing these monthly.
So I got confused on the question. We have a list of wells, about 12 wells that don't have this monitoring equipment that we grab in-house manually.
For these two
These
wells
two
in
wells.
this agreement, only. For
No,
these
but
two
not
wells.
twice a year.
Okay.
I thought I saw
I
in
see.
here that we are getting
It does say
monthly read.
monthly in here.
Yeah, it says monthly.
So if we're doing it,
So-
Well, it's picking it up every 15 minutes, and then so you have
Right. But so.
But you gotta go there,
you're collecting that data.
But
plug it in,
our-
download it.
Our cost, our staff time is monthly or every 6 months?
For those two wells, every 6 months.
Every 6 months, okay.
Okay, but the agreement needs to say that.
then we'll need to
Because,
modify the agreement.
because from this.
Is that what they
I'm-
want?
I read that we're going out there every month.
From
The two wells.
this, I'm expecting if I'm on Seminole Greenwich site, that they're getting monthly
Yeah,
data.
right.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's what I
Yeah.
expect.
Uh,
That's what the way I
now,
read it.
If it's monthly data transmitted to them every 6 months, okay, then
Well, hold on. The district shall collect monthly manual groundwater level measurements and download data from the installed data loggers semi-annually.
Ah,
oh, okay,
oh, okay.
I missed that
Okay.
part.
Oh, we
So
do.
you
That's-
download semi-annual.
Right.
Yeah.
Okay.
So
So
once
it's
every,
only 2 visits a year.
right,
okay.
2 visits a year,
That's a big
okay,
difference.
that's minimal.
So
Yeah.
that's good.
Yeah.
But I still go back to the signing up for,
The repair of the wells, you are bringing up something for me. In the event that this well gets damaged from something that's either our negligence or from the next earthquake,
exactly.
I don't want us to be on the hook to, well, it's ours to repair that. No, it should be our decision because it's our well. Whether we do it or not, it shouldn't be part of the Santa Margaritas.
Well, the decision to repair it is still the board's decision.
No, it's not. We're signed up.
It
Well,
sounds
you
like,
can decommission the well if it got
Oh,
damaged.
okay, but now we have to give 6
The
months
district-
notice, and now we're getting into this. I don't like doing business that way. That to me is a sneaky way of doing business.
But that's the reason that clause is there.
But that,
Yeah,
no,
I mean-
it should be explicit that if the well is damaged, it is in our sole discretion as to whether we fix it or not. We don't have this clause in here saying that we will remain responsible for it. That's just not a good way to do business. Think about people that don't have the context we have.
Says termination for district for well decommissioning does not have, I don't see any time frame on that. Now for convenience,
Then-
180 days.
Then why have the clause at all? Okay, so I'll just say, I would like to amend to remove clause B. And approve that. There's no reason to have it then. If you're saying it's all covered and there's no circumstance under which they can come to us and say, you are forced to repair, then just get rid of the clause.
Gage has his hand up.
Thank you. Gage, please.
I just wanted to jump in and clarify a couple things on interpretation of the agreement. The way I read this contract is that there's two obligations. It's a monthly manual groundwater level measurement. That's one. And then there's also a semi-annual download of the data.
So are you saying that we have to go to the site every month to get the data?
That the district shall collect monthly manual groundwater level measurements, manual. And that's on a monthly basis. And then there's
manual.
Do we do that now?
We do.
So
and then
we
there's
have to every month
separately
or
an
every 6
obligation to
months?
download. Yeah.
Both.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay, what was the second one?
So that was the first thing I wanted to clarify that. Secondly, on the district's discretion. So the district has the discretion to decommission the well. If you decide to decommission the well, it's only 60 days notice, or it's at least 60 days notice. The 180 days is to terminate the agreement altogether.
Okay.
But the decommissioning is 60 days notice.
So I
And
get,
then I have
get
one more
that.
thing, but we can pause there.
Yeah, Gage, I get that, but a better way to word this is if some damage happens, it's our sole discretion as to whether we repair it or not. Don't have a 60-day termination clause. Again, that gets into, hey, let's have a conversation. Let's do business weirdly. No, just say it's our sole discretion. Very simple. If that's the intent, if the intent is, it is up to us to decide, then make it our sole discretion. Just say it. It's very simple.
I agree with that.
Gage, you had another point?
Yeah, sorry, Gage, the third.
No, that's okay. I'm just trying to provide,
No, it's good. It's
the
good.
lawyer's reading of the contract.
Good.
And for the record, we can revise this to try and include whatever provisions you want.
Understand that? Yeah.
Yeah, understand.
We'll work with Jason and do whatever your direction is. The last thing I wanted to note is that the responsibility to maintain or repair the wells is in accordance with your existing standard operational practices. So what that means is you're not required to do more for these wells than you normally would do already. Whatever your standard operational practices for these wells, you're not required to have a greater level of maintenance and repair.
I get that, Gage, but I will say, putting a clause like that in there sets expectations for people that won't have the context. And it will become a flashpoint a potential flashpoint in the future if something were to happen and they want to continue using these wells. I want to make it crystal clear from the get-go that there's no discussion around it. It is our sole discretion, period. Now, if they want to come to us and say, hey, we'll pay for the repair, well, that's different. But I don't want to commit them to that either.
just from,
And then, by the way, the 24 visits, because that's what I'm hearing now. I do have the same concern that Mark has at this point. I'm willing to say, okay, let's, maybe overlook that, but I want a new deal.
yeah, maybe that's certainly an area we need to clarify. Do they really want manual readings on every month and then
I bet you they do.
and maybe they do, yeah.
And maybe they can install telemetry.
May I?
Please, yeah. go ahead.
Jesse, I'm sorry. I hate to put you on hot seat again. Could you just explain it a little bit
Yeah, absolutely.
again? Because I'm a little
Yeah,
confused
absolutely.
about the manual part.
Once a month, we grab manual reads on about 12 monitoring wells. These two wells are included in those 12. And then twice a year, we upload the data and send that over to Sigma.
And you thought that to do the 12 wells was 4 to 6 hours every month?
Yep.
So that would say that 2 of the 12 wells would maybe be 6 of
And
that?
Only one's right next to 2 of the wells we already monitor, so only one wouldn't be that much more time, to be another 20 minutes.
Okay.
Estrella's a 10-minute drive down the road, that's another
So,
half hour to an hour.
so maybe an hour total for those 2 wells, which
Yeah.
was your
Yeah,
original
all that
estimate.
drive time, yeah.
Okay.
Like I say, I'm willing to.
If we could just, so you were asking questions.
Yeah.
I'd like,
Go ahead. I mean, I'm sorry,
No,
President.
no, I
President
I haven't
Atkins done.
completely
I'm
finished
just
yet, but I
saying
will
didn't-
yield.
Okay, thank you.
Well,
Did
I
you have
got
a
recognized by
follow-on
the chair.
question with Jesse? Or?
Oh,
Or was
I'm done. That was it. I
that
was
was it?
done.
Okay,
maybe I could just make a comment or two.
please.
The broad principle of this is the Santa Margarita Groundwater Agency is our agency. They are working on our behalf to allow us to comply with Sigma state law. And it's very much in our interest that they can effectively monitor the aquifer. The more data points that we have, the better their distribution, the more information we have, and the less likely we are to have restrictions on our water use because of overdrafted aquifer conditions. We are Sigma. Should we negotiate to have full crediting to our labor contributions to the financial success of Sigma? Absolutely. And should that accounting be done when we renegotiate our contributions? Definitely. Is this level of effort to monitor wells monthly and do telemetry every 6 or downloads every 6 months or whatever, it's going to move the needle? Absolutely not. This is budget dust.
Yeah.
Absolute budget dust. And we've wasted more time talking about this, paying all of these people to listen to us than we will spend in the next year on this body of work. And so I think it's important to stay focused on what matters when it comes to financial issues. And as far as the district's retaining full and sole discretion regarding the future use, modification, repair, decommissioning, and destruction of the wells, black and white, top sentence in this section, that we need to notify Sigma, give them 60 days notice to recover their instrumentation, to make sure that they get their stuff out of there before we destroy a well. That doesn't seem unreasonable to me at all. And mobilizing to deal with one of these well destruction activities easily takes 60 days. So I'm a little confused about the conversation. And I would recommend that we proceed with signing this agreement because I think that we have more important things to occupy our time with.
May I respond?
I know you
Yeah.
have some more comments. Okay.
So keep in mind that the Santa Margarita Groundwater Agency barely made it into the remit of that act. We were like very close to not even being in it at all. I don't see that we have a serious overdraft issue in Santa Margarita, particularly since we've been doing a lot of surface water since 2020 in a way that we hadn't been before. So the risk of that, in my mind, is incredibly small, particularly given the fact that Scotts Valley's water growth has been substantially reduced through their own efforts. So I don't want that to be that threat of some overdraft thing being some reason to dash into a bad agreement. Gage, I did have a question about this. Who is the owner of this agreement? Is it us or is it Santa Margarita?
It's a joint, it's between the two of you. There's no like one party or the other.
Okay, because whenever there's an ambiguity in a contract, the ambiguity always goes against that person that did the drafting. There's an ambiguity in this contract. Very clearly. And so whether you agree with the fact that we've been arguing about this or not for some time, to me, the ambiguity is a potential risk of tens of thousands of dollars that may not happen, but if it does, I don't want there to be any ambiguity.
In your mind, the ambiguity is if somehow a well is destroyed or needs repair, do we give them 60-day notice or 180 days?
Or are we in the hook for doing it because we say we are? That is those clauses conflict with each other.
Okay, well, I think Gage had outlined to us that if we want to destroy the well, we give 60 days notice. That's what Brian just read. I don't see that.
Here's the ambiguity. Something happens with a well. Santa Margarita comes to us and says, hey, we want this, you got to repair it. We say, oh, it's 60 days. Well, now we have an ambiguity because we aren't clear in the contract about this. All we got to do is get rid of B. That's all we got to do. 6B. Just get rid of it. There's no reason for it. It creates ambiguity, and you don't want ambiguity in contracts. And we have no idea whether or not the new Santa Margarita people, whoever they may be, will be the nice guys that we're dealing with now. Or that Santa Cruz will be.
I'm sorry, you said 6B. Do you mean 8B?
Sorry. Yeah, because of the renumbering here. Let me go back to that.
Term and termination.
No. Wait a sec here. No. It is 6B. Well infrastructure. The district shall remain responsible for the maintenance and repair of the underlying well infrastructure. And I get what it's in accordance with its standard operational practices, except to the extent damage is caused by Santa Margarita. Okay, but that puts us on the hook. And I get that you guys want to use this termination thing, but ambiguity is not a good thing in a contract.
Will be recognized by the chair.
Please, Lena, go ahead.
I moved a question.
You move to question?
Yes. It means it's a 2/3 majority that we have to vote on this and stop discussion. So
agree
it
with
requires a second.
I will second that. Yes.
Vote.
Yes. I've heard long enough.
Okay. Do we need to,
We need to have a motion.
well,
Yeah,
But we need to hear from the public first.
yeah, we have to hear
Yeah,
from the
that's
public.
fine.
We have to
Yeah.
hear from the public first. And anybody's hands? No, okay. So you're saying that now we entertain a motion to just approve this?
Yes.
Okay, someone want to make that motion? Okay,
I can get one instead.
all right, let's see, yes.
I move that the Board of Directors approve the well monitoring access and cost reimbursement agreement between the San Lorenzo Valley Water District and the Santa Margarita Groundwater Agency for the Olympia Well 1 and Estrella Wells, and authorize the general manager to execute the agreement subject to final review and approval as to form by District Council.
I will second that.
Okay,
President Russ,
yes.
Vice President Lane,
Yes.
Director Largay,
Yes.
Director Smalley,
Yes.
Director Foltz.
No.
Thank you.
Okay, yeah, thanks, everybody. All right, so we move on to the next item. Surplus property. Okay. Jason, that's you, right?
Sure.
Okay.
Staff has identified 3 district-owned parcels that are no longer needed for water utility purposes and are recommended for disposition. Assessors parcel number 077-14113, 0 Ben Lomond Toll Road. Assessors parcel number 073-03101, 101 Quail Hollow Road. And assessors parcel number 075-06204, located in Lompico. Two of these parcels present ongoing liability exposure due to their unimprovement, unmonitored condition, including unauthorized public access, fall hazards, and use as an informal gathering and creek jumping spot. While the third has drawn interest from a prospective buyer. Declaring these parcels surplus is the first step in the disposition process, allowing staff to proceed with the notice and marketing steps required under the Surplus Land Act, including an appraisal for APN 075-06204 prior to sale. Thank you.
And Jason, remind me of the two appraisals that were done on the Ben Lomond property and the Quail Hollow property. How old were those?
They're about 6 months old. I
Oh,
believe.
just 6 months?
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Okay, yeah, I had a chance to visit both of those yesterday, and the Ben Lomond, the 3 acres, it's actually 3 acres. It's beautiful riverfront, but I guess it's completely not developable. Is that correct?
It's mine, well,
Not at
It's an
all.
old dam site, so unless we're gonna dam up the river again. I don't see it happening.
That sounds like fun.
Yeah.
Well,
I didn't even realize that was water district.
well, there are a lot of people who would like to,
Yeah,
but
I guess it was an old swimming hole, right?
Yeah.
We've learned
Yeah.
something there.
And so its only use, you indicated that maybe the county would be interested, but
Yes.
why would they even be interested?
mine are, well, we found records before about both of these properties and that the county was expressing interest. One for the bridge expansion, and I'm not sure why they wanted the one on the river,
the park.
other than the park is there.
The park.
Okay.
Yeah, butts up their park. And I'll also add, the county's recently cleared out the gate and opened up the access and kind of invited the public to go in the river, which is great, but basically right when you leave that gate, you're in our property. When you're in the river, you're in our property, and it doesn't have very safe access to the river. It's kind of
Oh, I didn't really, so on the opposite side to the current park,
Yes.
that's where the road goes that the public has been sort of invited to use.
yeah.
Can we
cleared
close the gate?
I think the gate is
County,
on the county
county
property,
property.
but you're right. As soon as you cross the threshold, you're on our property.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Thank you, county.
That's,
And even before the county did that, there were people going, there's,
Right.
but just now that they've opened it up and kind of invited it to come play on our property,
okay.
my opinion, it's a good.
And
time.
so we have no water rights there at all. I mean.
No.
No, okay.
Technically, if you are riverfront property, you can take and use the water from the river on that parcel, but it can't leave
can't
that
transport
parcel.
it.
Yes. Technically, you can't go anywhere though.
It ain't happening.
They're saying we could water the trees there if we wanted to.
Yeah, it's meant for like maybe like a small garden or something. Instead, technically, you're supposed to still ask permission, but
Got it. Okay. So, yeah, okay. So I was just wanting to clarify that we don't have any water rights to it. I guess this was just leftover property from years ago when we did have a dam on it. And I guess pulled
Not-
water out of it.
Not we.
Well,
Wasn't
the
us.
previous,
Yeah, it was more of a collaborative approach, but yeah.
I'm not sure. I know it was our property and there used to be a dam there.
Yeah.
The
But-
exact history of it, I'm not sure.
Yeah, it was more of a collaborative approach, community approach.
okay. Okay, well, that clarifies some issues for me. And the bridge expansion, so actually the county's very interested in that, but
We
but
don't know.
apparently that's been on
don't-
the
we don't
list for years and they haven't
We don't
moved
We don't know.
on it.
They,
That was,
yeah,
They were
That was in the
interested years
past.
ago.
maybe
They
it's
still
there,
are.
maybe it's not.
Okay. All right, well, that's it for my questions. Mark, any others?
It sounds to me like, yes, these three are all, should be considered as surplus property since we're not using them. The questions that I have are more related to liability, since I see flags coming up for that for at least the Ben Lomond Toll Road and the Quail Hollow Road. For the Ben Lomond Toll Road property, if the county's opening up a gate and the gate only accesses onto our property, we should be telling the county, stop, or please be interested in purchasing this from
And,
us.
and we would have a legal right just on our side to
If-
put a gate in, and say, right to
But
right to
but-
pass
but it-
by bar
but it
permission.
costs us something.
Yeah.
To put a fence up.
It would cost us something, but from a legal
Yes.
insurance point of view,
Yes.
if we did that, it might actually protect us from some liability. And that might be worth asking our insurance carrier about.
I think it would
If
wash
you
out.
have a gate and someone goes around it, then they're.
Yeah.
or-
Remember that?
I don't know how the
I don't
gate-
want-
Basketball
I
court
don't know how
looked
the gate
like?
goes across the river, but I do think that reaching out to the county and doing some sort of,
Be a good neighbor.
yeah,
Yes, yes. Be a good neighbor. Purchase this property from us for some negotiated price.
Right.
And take it off of our hands.
Right.
Since you want to provide the public access to it by you opening the gate to it. So that's the approach that I think we should be taking with one. But I don't think you're asking us here for how to negotiate these. It's, are these surplus properties? Yes, it appears to me as though they are. So but that's just some other thoughts on these other ones.
Okay.
So.
Bob, any other thoughts?
Well, we started a surplus property disposal process back in 2019. Never got followed through
Well,
on.
and
So,
I've seen a report that's dated 2009.
well, there was one before that even. The district has never been able to dispose of surplus property with very few exceptions. So I am hopeful that this time it can be driven to completion. Two of these parcels, actually, I think the neighbors are probably going to want to buy them because one of them will get some very close to an acre. And the other one, if he puts together a couple parcels, he'll get an acre. So it should be a no-brainer to get rid of this.
Yeah. The Ben Lomond property is over 3 acres. So any of the adjoining homeowners there might say, I'll pick this up.
Yeah.
But-
Anyway, I'm saying that these should be easy to dispose of and you should be able to drive it through
Right.
because the district has never been able to do it. And it would be great to have an example of how to do that. So I'm fully in support of this. The only quibble I have is the motion, I
Right.
believe.
I have, so when we get to that point, I
Okay.
have a vote.
Yeah, because it didn't refer to the resolution and in this situation, you must refer to the resolution as
Yeah.
part of the motion. So,
Right, thank you. Alina,
Yeah, I think it goes to other public agencies first when we release these, correct? That's the first pick for surplus.
I believe you have to
Yeah.
go through
Okay.
them first.
correct.
It's just we have this lovely river access and I would just like that to still be accessible to the community. So making sure that, that the county and parks has first bid. That's really important to me. The one thing that I would say that really stood out for me for the Quail Hollow Road one is the appraisal, there was a line and it's like, it's not really an ideal spot to build. And I'm like, well, there's that house right over here with the same road configuration. So I didn't really agree with that line. So I feel like it might have been valued a little bit lower. It has that really nice swimming hole. And I'm like, but that was the only thing that kind of jumped out to me. But it seems like we're not using these, and I think that, going to be a park or to the county where better access for people to get to the river, I think that would be ideal. So yeah, I think that move to surplus.
okay, thank you. Brian,
I strongly support the offloading of these properties. I agree with Mark in encouraging the district to mitigate risk in the interim because there does seem to be meaningful risk associated with the two. And that's all I have. Thank you.
okay. What wasn't clear to me, is that the private interest in that one Lampico lot. Do you have any other information on that, like the size of the lot or
0.11 acres.
point?
I was gonna say about maybe,
You
Or
were-
0.10.
yeah,
0.10.
maybe
okay.
6,000 square feet.
I think that's what I read.
Maybe.
6,000.
Yeah.
Point
Yeah.
one would be then
Right.
only 4,500 square. Okay, but very small.
Hang on a sec. I looked.
That's not buildable,
No, it's,
but someone wants to acquire it and add it to their property.
It's 0.11 acres according to the county's GIS.
okay,
Okay,
okay.
What was that one before?
That was I'm sorry,
Like, what was it for?
For us, you mean?
Yeah, for us.
Part
Oh,
of, when we
the
took over
Lompico.
Lompico.
When
Oh.
we took them
Lompico
over.
Water
Oh,
District Agency.
Maybe it
whatever
had
they
their
were.
office
Was there
there.
anything on it or
We thought there might have been a pipeline on it, but there isn't.
there's nothing there?
Okay.
Just,
Okay,
okay. All right, and so we would also need to authorize a, I guess, an appraisal of that property?
That would be-
we don't have
That's
to.
down the road.
Down
Just
the road.
surplusing right now.
First, just
Yeah.
surplus.
Yep,
Okay.
yep.
And in fact, it's under your signature
Yeah.
authority, so
Yeah.
take
Yeah.
care of it.
Yeah, okay. All right, if no further discussion from directors,
I do have a follow-up question. I'm aware of a discussion at a recent environmental committee meeting about another property that's potentially currently unused by the district.
We got dozens.
Something that's the Zayante property of considerable acreage. I just want to make sure that that discussion at the environmental committee meeting eventually rolls into this
Okay,
surplus property discussions.
all right.
Right. And are these three parcels the end all for the next year, or is this just an ongoing review of?
This is an ongoing review and one that we really saw a liability issue with and one.
Okay. Okay, good. Thank you. All right, good. Then I'd like to see that other one that
No,
was
it's
discussed at that
possible.
committee also being brought forward eventually to the board.
It's possible that that property is, because the Quail Hollow property is right at the corner of Quail Hollow and East Sayante.
And there, no, it's completely separate.
Completely separate. Oh,
No contiguous borders at all.
okay, all right.
Okay,
All right, I guess the only thing I would like to add then is, you can give us, you got the wording for making this a resolution, but
Just, all we need to do is change the beginning to, I move that the board of directors adopt resolution 03 declaring, and then continue what the resolution is. I move that the board of directors adopt resolution number 3 declaring, and go from there.
okay. Then I will continue that motion declaring APN number 077-141-13, APN 073-03101, and APN 075-06204 as surplus property, and direct staff to proceed with the disposition of each parcel, including compliance with the notice and reporting requirements of the Surplus Land Act, and return to the board with results of that process, including any offers received prior to close of any sale.
okay, and then let's just pause that for a second and make sure there's no public hands up.
No.
Okay. So I'll second that.
Okay,
President Russ,
Yes,
Vice President Lane,
yes.
Director Largay,
Yes.
Director Smalley,
yes,
and Director Gross.
Yes.
Motion is passed, the resolution will be adopted.
okay, great. Get her done. Thank you. And now moving on to accounts payable listings.
Yes, this is the account payable listing for July 17th through August 13th for your review and approval.
Okay, thank you. Did you want to mention any highlights or just want to hear any questions if we have
Just
any?
any questions? I mean, it's
Okay.
pretty much business as usual for us, but
Okay,
if you have any questions, I can try and answer them.
okay, thank you. Bob, any comments?
No, other than I, it's just so funny to see these again after such a long hiatus. Is this something you could do on consent agenda? And if anybody did have any questions, they could pull it off.
I think accounts payable have to be done by
That has to be
motion.
motion?
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
All right, but no, thank you.
Okay. Mark, anything?
it doesn't appear as though there are any reimbursements for tuition in the past year. Although it says that it could be for that also. Is that correct?
That's the next item.
Annual disclosure.
We've definitely had.
Oh, employee reimbursements, yeah, that's the next.
Oh,
item.
okay.
Yep.
All right, okay. I'm skipping ahead then. All right. Thank you. Nope, no other questions.
All right, Alina?
No comments. Thank you for providing this to the board.
I don't have any either. I appreciate it.
Okay. I had just a couple quick ones, Cherie. I noticed that we paid the US Treasury 53,000 for arbitrage tax. Is that the
That was from the loans not being,
Is that what that was?
So basically, we earned too much interest on that loan, and so we had to pay it.
Is it because we earned too much interest or we didn't spend it down fast enough, so we had an excess amount after 3 years?
It is because we earned too much interest. Why we earned too much interest is probably because we held on to the funds for too long.
I mean, the payment that we had before on this was because we held on to it too long and therefore we accrued excess interest. It is possible that if interest rates go up, that maybe you might get into that kind of arbitrage situation, but it's mostly around not executing. Yeah.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, that one kind of jumped out at me, and obviously we want to avoid that with our 16.5 million recent funding. And then I noticed that we paid 659,000 to CalPERS. Maybe just go over what that includes. What's all wrapped up in that large payment to CalPERS? Because I know it's for the whole
That's for the whole year.
whole year, right?
Yeah, so we do get a discount if we pay annually versus monthly.
Ah.
So we'll always pay at the beginning of the year for our CalPERS. That is our unfunded liability payment.
To be clear, that
Yeah.
isn't like, what, 7%?
Is that just the interest on the unfunded amount?
It is.
Or are we actually paying down some of the unfunded amount?
We paid down some of it. So basically it depends on what CalPERS earns that prior year. So they have a goal. Typically it's 7%.
Yeah.
But it changes. And so they want to meet their earnings. And then based on what they earned the prior year is then what they charge to the districts and cities and counties the next year for the UAL. But we still do have a balance that we're paying down.
It's mafia money.
Well, and that's what I was trying to get my arms around too, is so if we're paying 659 and yes, 7.5% was kind of the number I remember reading. That implies that, and that's 659 is just the interest charge, right? It's not, or is it a combination of interest?
It's a combination.
Okay.
But it's got to be mostly interest.
Well, that's what I'm sure most of it is, but
We get a report done annually, and I, for the life of me, cannot remember the name of the report, but that has all of the breakdown for the prior year of
Yeah.
what was paid.
I mean, maybe for a future meeting, it would be good to really maybe dive in a little bit more into the CalPERS number, and maybe we put in our budget if we can, especially if we do all the other financing correctly, where we start to pay down this unfunded portion, because we're only making 3.5% on our bond money, and LAIF and the other options are still in that range, right? 3.5%, and yet we're paying 7.5% on this unfunded. So it just subtracts out a huge amount.
It's a
Can I
great
make
cost.
this suggestion?
Yeah.
Since you have the pointed questions, can you have the discussion with Cherie offline? And if you get to that conclusion of, hey, maybe we should be doing something different, have staff make it an agenda item, put it on another meeting.
Well, that's why I made the
Yeah.
suggestion. I think it is it's a big enough number for us that we need to start looking at.
Right.
So,
Right.
and then my only other question was, Wex Bank fuel, 11,000. I wasn't sure what that was. Does that mean like fuel that we're paying?
Number,
Oh, shoot.
Vehicle fuel.
Vehicle fuel. Oh, okay. So that's like a monthly fuel bill.
We all
that-
have fuel cards.
Oh, okay. All right.
You can only buy fuel at the gas station. You can't buy any food or any of that stuff. So it's a fuel only thing.
Fuel only. Okay. That's it. Thank you very much. Appreciate the monthly reports. Really do. That's fantastic to get these. Okay. All right. So do we, I guess, this
We
by
have a
consent?
motion.
or actual motion?
We have a motion.
Do we
but
ask for
we need
public
to- Yes.
comment?
Oh,
we
thank
need to
you.
check with the public first.
Any hands?
Nobody even had their hands up.
Nope.
Uh, Gage had his hands up previously, but he took it down.
Oh,
Gotta ask.
Gage, you're okay?
I was just gonna say you can approve accounts payable on a consent agenda unless, I just sent this to Jason by an email, unless the district has a policy, a written policy somewhere otherwise. Most agencies do approve their accounts payable through the consent agenda. I just wanted to.
Okay.
Okay,
Well, for tonight, I will move to approve the accounts payable listing for the period of July 17th, 2026 through August 13, 2026.
Second. I think since you commented, we would.
President
do
Russ?
the motion anyways.
yes.
Vice President Lane,
Yes.
Director Largay,
Yes.
Director Smalley,
Yes.
and Director Holmes.
Yes.
Motion's passed.
Okay. Thank you. All right, and now we move on to employee reimbursements.
So we are required by California code to provide the board of directors with a report of any employee reimbursements that are over $100, and this is that report.
Okay, totaling, looks like 13,000. Okay, Mark, you had a question?
I did. And it was on tuition. Is there tuition in here?
So tuition and training are two different things. Somebody's going and getting a
A certificate
degree
from
or a
something.
certificate.
Yes.
And typically, what we've done this last year is we just put it on the credit card. The company credit card, so we don't have to reimburse the employees, we just pay for it.
Okay, all right.
This is just for the reimbursements where they went and used their own credit card or
Okay,
whatever it was, we
Okay.
had to reimburse them.
okay, all right. Thanks.
Bob, anything?
Yeah, is this $100 indexed to inflation like our compensation is?
No.
This is crazy that we have to do this for $100.
Yes,
Okay.
I agree.
God.
I agree.
Okay, but yeah, no questions. Okay.
Alina, any questions?
No, thank you.
Brian?
No questions. Thank you.
I have no questions either. So this,
It's just public comment.
that's just, okay, and then any public comments?
No, sir.
Okay. And this isn't a motion, this is just information. Okay. All right, and so that then leads us to with one more item, right? Oh, yes. Personnel policies. Okay. Who's picking that one up?
That's me.
Okay,
All right, so tonight I'm presenting two personnel policies. I've presented them before, but they've changed a little bit for board consideration. The information security, privacy, and technology use policy, it was at one point two different policies. I combined it into one. Figure it's probably better to have less policies than more. And the remote work and flexible schedule program policy. These are the result of a multi-phase review effort that began following board direction to update the district's approach to workplace flexibility, cybersecurity, privacy, and technology use. Together, these policies establish clear expectations for employees. They strengthen the protection of our district systems and information, and they support operational resilience and provide flexibility to meet current and future workforce needs. If you have any additional questions, I'm happy to answer any of those.
thank you, Jen. Brian, any questions on either of those policies?
I don't have much to contribute. I reviewed them and they seemed fairly straightforward and high level and flexible with a fair amount, if not a lot of detail to be worked out in their implementation. And I support staff in framing their policies in that way, if that's what best meets the needs of the district from an operational perspective. So I guess that's all I got.
Thank you. Alina?
Yeah, when I read these, Jen, I was just really impressed at where they ended up. I mean, I think they're very clear, they're well organized, and I really appreciate all your hard work that you've done on it. It turned out really nice as a final product. My only question on this is there was a line I was trying to find exactly where it was because I guess I just copied it. It says unauthorized personal devices about not storing, I think it was confidential information on there. What about directors? Because we're not provided devices and I open confidential emails all the time on my personal. So that was just one area I was,
It's something to be considered. I mean, at my previous district, we did issue directors laptops, but this policy is for the employees, so.
It almost might be an issue more for the board policy manual.
I
Right?
think so. Yes.
That's something to be done.
Right.
Yeah, but that's a good point. Yeah. Anything else, Selena?
no. I did say scope this policy, maybe this is for the first one. The policy applies to all district employees, members of the board of directors. So it does say that in that line.
Where I've come from before, but like he said, we would actually assign laptops and phones for that
Right.
purpose.
But we don't do that.
We don't, and so I don't want to violate the policy because I'm
Agreed.
opening a confidential email.
That's a
So-
good point.
Should the,
Yeah.
should the policy not apply to the board then? I don't know.
Maybe we take that out,
We can take that
for
out
the
and then
board-
add in.
the board
something to
reference
the
and-
board policy manual.
it really goes in the board policy, because
We can do that.
the board is obviously always dealing with confidential information.
Mhm.
Right. And
Right.
needs to be separately addressed.
I'm not asking for a laptop. I just don't want to violate the policy.
Yeah, right.
But you can give me.
Yeah.
No,
We're all gonna be
that's all.
hauled away in a few minutes here. Okay,
You never know, it might result in a censure.
there you go.
That's all I
Uh,
had.
Okay, Mark, anything?
Reviewed these policies at the admin committee meeting. I like what I see. Thanks. That's it.
And Bob?
Yeah, I think the remote workplace was very well done, and hopefully that will help guide Jason in your implementation of that. On the security policies, I have a little bit of a different take because I actually do this for a living.
Right.
And it isn't really a personnel policy per se, even though it touches. It's really more of a, well, in my world, corporate, but here, district agency type of a policy. And I appreciate the fact that NIST was referenced in there. Kind of a better approach on something like this would be to adopt a either a CIS, Center for Internet Security, NIST, National Institute of Standards and Technology, I think it is, and a specific policy rubric. Like CIS has different levels that you can go with, or a CMMC, cybersecurity, I forget what it is. And then also, probably the board at some point needs to address whether or not operations that are cloud-based need to go into GovCloud. Believe it or not, there have been a lot of cyber hacking going on smaller districts because the view is that your cybersecurity isn't as robust. You're actually more vulnerable. There are the NIST policies you would probably want to look at would be the NIST 800-171, actually special publication 800-171. I would not advise adopting all, and that would be Rev 3. I'm not advised adopting all 92 in depth because there's 92 controls and 250 some assessment criteria. That's a lot. But it would give you an idea of how to actually structure this in a way that you could pass a security audit. Same thing with the CIS, level 1 or level 2. This is a good start, but you really need to get into more of a framework that you're going to then be following and identify the controls that you're going to follow. So,
Yeah, I kind of anticipate this thing's probably gonna morph and change over time.
well, but see, the thing is, when you adopt the framework, like the NIST or the CIS framework, it doesn't morph over time as much. There's revs occasionally, but what it means is you select the controls out of that you want to follow. And then you implement those controls and you have a method of reviewing them so that when an audit does occur, and that is something that the board should have the district do probably a year from now, after you've had a year to implement these, whether or not you can pass that audit. The problem you run into is if you don't follow explicitly a framework, it makes it very difficult for the auditor to audit you because there's tools that the auditors use for doing that. So I would encourage the board and the staff to move to an explicit framework that you're going to adopt. And I'd be more than happy to, in the time I have left, offer whatever insights I can into that. This is something that even small districts got to do, right? So
We heard what happened in Minnesota.
yeah. And are you familiar with GovCloud, by the way? So Microsoft has and Amazon, they have commercial clouds and then they have GovCloud. So the advantage of moving into a GovCloud is that you automatically pick up the controls that they apply. And Microsoft, for example, in their GovCloud will support 800.171 and CIS. So you don't have to do a lot of work if you're operating in those clouds. The downside is it's higher cost, but you get higher security. So there's a balance that ultimately the board and staff have to make on that. But I would definitely look into, for example, at least moving the Microsoft Office tools into GovCloud as a sort of first step to get higher levels of security.
Very much appreciate those comments, Bob, and your offer to offer your expertise. Because I also, from what I've read and the little experience I've had, we are a small district, and I think that just by its very nature makes us vulnerable. And so anything we can do to start to, make ourselves less vulnerable, I think would be time and money probably very well spent.
Well, let me assure you that we did work for a Fortune 500 company one time, and they probably didn't even get to this level of security in the first out the gate. So don't, it was a lot of years ago, but
Right.
don't worry about it. This is something that everybody goes through a process. So
Right. No, that's good. I also appreciated the clarity of the manuals. I thought you did a great job, Jen. I did have one question on the remote work. Is there any estimate of how many of our employees that would actually qualify for what would be that we could actually see them wanting to work remotely and it would make sense for us as a district?
Yeah, I mean, obviously it's more of a admin kind of thing.
Right.
Can't fix it like
I'm thinking,
remote.
customer reps, maybe, right?
don't make them commit.
Okay. Yeah, I just wasn't sure. I mean, I read it and I understand the philosophy. I just didn't know if there was something that we had in mind with that, or we're just trying to be.
It provides situationally, like, someone's not feeling well, they want to spread it, but they feel well enough to work that they can get online and do so.
Yeah.
I mean, we've had it without really the policy so much in place. Open up and been flexible to it, and it's been I think a boon to morale. It's been a boon to production, just because people are getting things done when normally they would be homesick or or taking care of somebody else who is sick. I've seen that too. So.
All right. Okay. No, good. Thank you. There any other comments from directors? You're good.
I'm good.
Okay.
Thank you.
Okay, so I guess this is one
Have a motion.
that has a motion, right?
Comments? We have-
Comments from the public. Thank you. Anyone?
No, sir.
Okay, thank you. Okay,
I move that the Board of Directors adopt the following district policies effective August 20th, 2026. The Information Security, Privacy and Technology Use Policy and Remote Work and Flexible Schedule Program Policy.
Second.
President Russ?
Yes.
Vice President Ling?
Yes.
Director Largay?
Yes.
Director Smalley?
Yes.
And Director Cole?
Yeah.
Motion's passed.
Okay, very good. So we have a consent agenda item, which is the previous board minutes. Are there any edits to that from anybody? Otherwise, unless I hear director's objection, I'll consider it approved unanimously. Okay, great. June financial status report. That's just information.
Information, I do want to point out that it is preliminary. We had a great conversation at the Budget and Finance Committee meeting about how June numbers will continue to change as we're closing the books
Yeah.
for the year.
Yeah.
So you'll get the final numbers when we present the annual audit.
Thank you very much. Okay, Bob.
But I do think it's important to highlight some things out of this, recognizing that the numbers may change somewhat. But even so, a 50% reduction in contract and professional services, I think, is worthy of a public recognition as to the level of effort that everybody on staff has put into that. That is a staggering number, a reduction, something the district has never, ever done in the past. And I think it's hopefully portent of things to come. Not that we're going to raise your quota, but a portent of things to come. And I also know that even though the salary and benefits have been capitalized to some extent, it's still, even with, if you added those back in, if it was really $1 million that was capitalized, even so, that's still a significant number down from budget, like $300,000. So between those two, easily $1.1 million. And since we're capitalizing, might as well go ahead and take the whole $1.5 million credit. I also took the revenue minus expenses. I did not subtract out the bond issuance expense, debt, principal, or interest, because those are below the line, and the expense for the bond is a one-time thing. And I think I came to 7.7 million. So if that's the case, that they've been sandbagging us because the number was 6.5. Now, I know some other numbers will come in, but the point is, even if it comes in, you're still going to have made the 6.5 hurdle number that is in the plan that was put together. And I think that's also worthy of significant recognition, because that gets the district started on a path of implementing substantial capital improvements in a methodical fashion, which again, it has never been able to do so. Now, the district is going to face significant pressure from a number of fronts on those numbers, given that they are so good. There's going to be people wanting more of them. It will be a challenge for the board and the district to make sure that you maintain adherence to the plan so that we can get the infrastructure going in a way that, again, hasn't been done in the past in a methodical fashion. So please be aware of that. Those numbers have to be met, or that plan can't be implemented. And as we've talked about before, if you can't meet those numbers, you're either going to raise rates more to keep the infrastructure going, you're not going to do infrastructure, or you're going to do some hybrid that isn't going to be good for the district at all. And I don't think anybody wants to see rates go up more than they have to. So on a finance point of view and meeting the numbers, it looks like you achieved that. And I'll wait for the final ones, but the congratulations, I think, are still in order. There's no way you're going to drop below 6.5, I don't think.
No, thank you. Yeah, I have to agree. Kudos to Jason and all of you. You've really stepped up, and we're on a great trend line. So that's great news, because we have a lot of work to do, obviously, and we've got now 16.5 million that we have to invest wisely over the next few years. So that's all good news. All right. Well, if there's no other comments on that from directors,
Nobody online.
Nobody online. I think that was just for information purposes, right? Yeah. Then I guess we can adjourn for the.
Not quite yet.
No, you're right. Did we want to try to continue? How are people feeling? We could go back into closed session for a few minutes.
I think so.
It's only 8:12.
Okay,
Yeah, I think so.
you're okay? All right.
Yeah.
We should stay here for another couple hours.
Oh, hey, we're having so much fun.
Is
30 minutes?
Are we okay that we didn't announce at the
15?
beginning? Is that okay, Gage? That we're gonna go back into
It's a-
closed session?
It's in the agenda though, at our discretion.
Oh, okay.
There's a standard clause, at least there has been.
You're muted, Gage.
Oh,
Sorry.
he looked-
Am I
Yeah.
unmuted now?
Yeah,
Yeah.
good.
Are you going back into closed session to discuss an agendized item?
Yeah.
Yes.
Then that's okay. You can return to closed
I
session.
didn't know if we
Right.
Okay.
didn't announce it
And,
earlier.
and for staff purposes, the ones that need to hang around, how long do you think we will be at this, Bob?
Probably 15, 20 minutes. I mean, half hour max, but I really don't think, I don't think we need a half an hour.
Yeah. Oh, yeah, he's really.
Yeah, okay. We'll be fast.
Do you want me to, do you need anything on the report out?
I don't,
No.
Oh,
we will not have a report out.
right.
on this.
Okay.
Yeah, thank you, Gage. Appreciate it.
Thank you all. Have a good night.
So one for top.
Oh, my goodness. Can you call me in 5 minutes, please? Hi, Ryan. Your daddy will call you in 5 minutes, okay? Bye-bye. Sorry about that. Okay. All right, we're all good?
We're good to go.
Okay, let's reconvene the public session of the San Lorenzo Valley Water District Board meeting on August what is this? 20th. Thank you. There are no reportable action items out of the closed session we just finished. And I don't think we have to have any other comments, right?
No, we're adjourned.
Adjourned.
Move to adjourn. We're out.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. All right.